G'day guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a review of a murder mystery film from Iceland, Icelandic language English subs, released in the year 2006, directed by Baltasar Kamikku, and this film is called Jar City. So Jar City starts off with this guy who's been hit across the head and he has been in fact murdered. So the investigation takes place with a detective, our main character. Now this detective is a very troubled individual. His personal life is very troubled. He's got a daughter who's a heavy heroin addict, so he's trying to get her life in order and at the same time balance his very morbid work life. So he's subjected to the cruelties of humanity, therefore his faith in humanity is not that bright. So he's investigating this murder and he realises the murder has been connected to a cold case that happened 30 years ago. So he goes back, he opens the cold case and he starts investigating it, and he realises that the community where this murder took place is very close knit, and they all banded together by a deep dark secret that they don't want out, but is going to come out because now the detective is starting to sort through the information. So he ends up uncovering these secrets that shake the community to the core, and what happens at that point on is something that you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Jar City. Jar City, if you heard the, if you pick up Jar City, you look at the back of the cover, you read it, you think to yourself, this is just a CSI Miami sort of prolonged TV episode. And that's the problem with a lot of these types of movies. I think because there's so many murder mystery, whodunit kind of television shows, when it comes into a movie, they can't really separate themselves from that TV show. It just feels like it's a whodunit, there's no character development, it's all about the murder mystery. It's all about who the guy is that's guilty, and then he's been locked away, and then, happily ever after. So that was my skepticism coming into Jar City, but what I found in Jar City was a really masterfully well-made film. Now on one hand, yes, it is a CSI sort of prolonged episode, and that was my criticism of it, is that it does follow a very similar formula of those TV shows, but what Baltasar Kamikku does is develop his characters. So these aren't just crime-fighting machines who don't have any feelings, whose sole focus in life is just solving the murder mystery. No, this movie, it really shows you the detective especially for who he is. A very real person. He has real attributes. He's trying to solve a crime, but at the same time balance his personal life. And I thought the side story created so much depth to it, and you get so much sorrow for this particular guy. And the beauty of it is, it's not just a murder mystery, it is so much more. So there's got side stories that keep you interested. And you say to yourself, yes, I want to know who the guilty person is, but at the same time, I want to know more about this detective, I want to know more about his daughter, and Baltasar Kamikku gives that to you. So it's got so much more depth than just a prolonged TV episode, and that's what I liked about it so much. Now the acting was fantastic. I think the fact that the acting was so good is down to the script. I think an actor can only go so far, but if he's got a bad script, he can't develop a character. He or she can't develop a character with dimensions. So I think that this movie, the script is fantastic. It allows the actors to shine through. And I haven't heard of any of these actors. They're all Icelandic, but they showcase their talents. I thought the characters were very well done. Even the side characters who don't have a lot of screen time were very in-depth, and I could connect with them. So it feels like a movie that is not made for entertainment. It's not a movie made for whodunit. The whodunit aspect is just part of it, but it's so much more. It's a character drama. It's a drama about, how destructive humanity can be, how destructive negativity can be. And the movie just feels like it's been ripped out from all positivity. All the life in the movie has been drained. It's through the cinematography. It's very windy. It's very cold. It's very barren, the landscape. And it feels like that's what the mood of the film is. That's what Baltasar Kamikku wants to do, and he translates it through the screen. He grabs you around the throat. He doesn't let go, and you keep captivated. The story to the film, the murder mystery, was fantastic. It's very disturbing, some very disturbing themes involving children, sexual violence and all kinds of stuff, so it does elevate itself past a TV show, so it actually feels like a film that is trying to push the envelope a little bit. So it doesn't really feel like a movie made solely for entertainment purpose. It is entertaining, but at the same time it is so sad, it's so heartbreaking, very, very powerful, and Baltasar Kamikku shows why he is a very good director. Now, if you haven't heard of Baltasar Kamikku before, he made another film called Reykjavik Rotterdam, which was since remade by him as well in America, called Contraband. Now I saw Reykjavik Rotterdam, haven't seen Contraband, didn't really like Reykjavik Rotterdam, although it had memorable qualities to it, it wasn't in depth, but this movie showcases how good he is. I think this is his best film, and I thought Jar City was just a knockout performance. So the soundtrack was excellent, very haunting, almost kind of holy, sort of, it felt like the soundtrack was contributing to the dread. And so it's a movie that's not going to make you feel good. It is fairly shocking, but it's more a case of what you hear from the people depicting these crimes. I think that's what grabs you the most. It's not so much about the aftermath. You see a few grisly deaths, but it's not about, you know, what you see on screen. It's more about the feeling, that strangeness, that the things you can't see that grab you. And I think that doesn't come along in a film very often, and it certainly comes along in Jar City. So I thought the ending was fantastic. It is a very good sort of murder mystery. As I said, the negativity being a CSI Miami episode, it still doesn't stop the fact that it is very well told. The story is very, very interesting. And as the movie went along, I just wanted to know more and more and more. And it felt like Baltasar Kamaku had the breadcrumbs, and he was just feeding you along until the conclusion. And you get to the conclusion, and you think to yourself, wow, I just saw a really good film. So the only negative being it felt like a prolonged TV episode, but apart from that, I thought it was a very good film, and it is certainly getting a high recommendation from me. So overall, for Jar City, I'm going to give it 4 stars. It's coming recommended. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.